new properties of graphene that have been discovered. It's therefore no surprise that the theorist who put the Sharma who put together this teachers conference and then left for Singapore chose only experimentalists to talk. That's a sign that they are way ahead of theorists, which sometimes happens. And the purpose of this program at the Institute for Theoretical Physics is, of course, to try to catch up. So the conference was dominated by new results, and the theorists have, it seems, a lot to catch up, which will occupy the theorists who remain here for the next 3 months, 2.5 months. So we have a wonderful list of speakers, starting with Andrei Geim, as you know, together with his colleague, won the Nobel Prize 2 years ago for this advance, and 3 other experimentalists who will discuss the various wonders and magic of graphene and maybe some of its weird properties that we don't understand yet. As usual, we will have 4 talks. There will be lots of room for discussion, time for discussion after the talks, or some time for discussion after the talks, breaks where you can continue discussion. Before lunch, we will have our usual panel discussion where all the speakers and the chair of the session and me will get up here and say whatever they want to say about the problems of secondary school education and what we can do, and we open the floor to you to express your views. Those discussions over the years have been quite interesting, and we'll see what we have to say today. They really are not structured, so speak up. One of the most interesting things, you want to think about it in the 2.5 hours you have, is the suggestions that various teachers have brought forward to inform other teachers of things they do in their state or in their school, in their district, that have been very useful. And so it's a good way of disseminating information, and of course it's all recorded. During lunch there will be one of us at each of your tables, as always. And finally, at the end of the day, there will be a presentation by Rachel Ross from Las Cumbres Observatory to update you on their activities. As you know, this is a observatory with a very strong connection with high schools around the world, and she'll update on the current what's going on there now. There is a tour of Las Cumbres tomorrow morning. Which, are there any places left? Yes. So people who still want to join that tour, see Jocelyn. Okay, so without further ado, let me turn over to Herb Fertig, a theorist, who is going to chair.
Who's not in Singapore.
Introduce the speakers. Keep the time.
Okay, thank you, David. So as Dave said, my name is Herb Fertig, and I come from Bloomington, Indiana, where I teach physics. And David is quite right. As theorists, we are trying to keep up with the experimentalists and what they're doing, and it's quite an exhausting endeavor, but we'll do the best we can. So I want to introduce Andrei Geim. You know a lot about him already. He's the winner of the 2010 Nobel Prize in Physics for his work on graphene, along with Kostya Novoselov. He got his PhD in 1987 from the Institute for Solid-State Physics, which was then in what was the Soviet Union. And then he did research work, postdoctoral work in various places in England, I guess Nottingham and Bath. And then he went to Copenhagen, and then got a permanent position in the Netherlands, in Nijmegen, and that was in 1994. And I guess he must have been there when he did a famous experiment on superconductivity that involved levitating a frog. And he won the Ig Nobel Prize for that. And I actually heard Andre interviewed on NPR not long after he received the Nobel Prize, and he made the statement that winning the Nobel Prize is easy. What takes real courage is to win and accept the Ig Nobel Prize. And so he has indeed shown a great deal of courage in trying things that other people weren't willing to try, and shows a great deal, has ongoing, in all his ongoing work, has shown a lot of creativity, and that really led to the ideas that allowed him to develop a method for stabilizing graphene. So he's going to tell us about that work.